You're in a conversation and someone says, surrogacy is no different from adoption. So if you think it's wrong for a couple to pay a woman to carry and give birth to their child, you must think adoption is wrong too. What would you say? Proponents of third-party reproduction, especially contract surrogacy, will often argue that it's just another form of adoption. But is that true? Before we answer, let's clarify what surrogacy is. Surrogacy is when an embryo is created in a lab and placed inside a woman who carries the baby and then transfers it to other adults who intend to raise the child. In many cases, one or both of the intended parents are not biologically related to the child. Here are 3 reasons why third-party reproduction is not like adoption. First, adoption seeks to mend a family wound. Third-party reproduction creates a family wound. Adoption is a necessity born of brokenness. Before a child can be adopted, they must first lose their biological family. Many adoptees describe a primal wound that their adoptive parents have helped them work through. Donor conception is also born of brokenness because a child is separated from one or both parents. But in the case of donor-conceived children, the parents raising them participated in creating their wound. Second, with adoption, the child is the client. But with third-party reproduction, the adult is the client. The purpose of adoption is to make sure that children have parents. Therefore, the adoption process is built around the best interest of the child. Adoptive parents undergo screenings and background checks and receive post-adoption supervision. In adoption, the adults sacrifice for the kids. The goal of third-party reproduction is to make sure adults have a child, so the process is built around the best interest of the adults. It lacks the safeguards of adoption and often separates a child from one or both biological parents. In third-party reproduction, the child sacrifices for the adult. Third, with adoption, adults support the child. With third-party reproduction, children support the adults. In both adoption and third-party reproduction, children experience loss, but adoptive parents can better support children through the loss. That's possible because adoptive parents didn't cause the trauma. However, with third-party reproduction, children are living with the adults responsible for their missing parent. Expressing their loss means condemning the decisions of the adults who are raising them. That means donor-conceived children are more likely to suppress their feelings or feel guilty for having them in the first place. So, it's the child who must be understanding and accommodating and supportive of the adults. There's no doubt that adults who want to have children through sperm and egg donation or surrogacy have good intentions. But when it comes to the rights and well-being of children, the intention of adults should not dictate policy. And when we have to choose between what adults want and the rights of children, we have to side with the kids. So next time someone tells you that third-party reproduction is just like adoption, here's 3 things to remember. Adoption seeks to mend a wound. Third-party reproduction creates a wound. With adoption, the child is the client. With third-party reproduction, the adult is the client. With adoption, adults support the child. With third-party reproduction, the children supports the adults. For What Would You Say? I'm Katie Faust. If you liked this video, let us know below. If you want to make sure that you see the next one, hit subscribe. To help keep these videos coming and free to the whole world, chip in below.